So Maya, you know, one of the biggest challenges in our city is that youth just don't have a place to grow outside of school.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there's so many disadvantages for them, like transportation and access to indoor outdoor spaces for extracurricular activities.
Yeah, and you know, there's a nonprofit for everything, but there's a nonprofit for this too, and
Okay.
that nonprofit is Youth Run NOLA, who is specifically addressing this with helping provide kids with opportunity.
Wait, they do 504K, right?
Oh yeah, the 504K is this amazing race, and they are doing it again this year, coming up real soon,
Whoop.
March 22nd, 2025. It's going to be live right there in the Marini, and what it is basically is a race that is 5K, and it's for kids and youth and people to cheer on the kids and youth as they run this race and build
Fun.
community around them. They got DJs. They're going to have so much fun stuff going on, and so it's so exciting to see, and I'm just intrigued to learn more from them.
Cool. I mean, can we bring them on to chat more about this?
Oh, absolutely. We don't just got one, but we got two of them coming on. We got Brenna, who's the program director, and we got Jon, who's the executive director.
Well, let's bring them out to talk about the 504K.
Missions by
Thank you guys for coming and joining us today for this episode.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, definitely.
Can you guys tell me why this initiative is really important at this time?
Yeah, Jon, do you want to start with this one?
Yes, I can definitely kick us off. So to me, this initiative, the 504K, is important at this time. Well, one is our 12th annual 504K, and it's just super important because, like I said, this race is all about ensuring just inclusivity and joy and movement. And I feel like with just so much happening these days, it's really important to get community, youth, families out there moving and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think especially right now in this climate in our country, it's like a big time. We're coming off COVID. There's been a lot of isolation. There's a lot of growing hate, scarcity mindsets of people. Our government's not coming through for us. New Orleans folks already know that, but
You could say that again.
yeah, right. So, you know, it's as important as ever to be building your community and like getting to know people that you live near, and especially like prioritizing joy for kids, because if you don't intentionally incorporate joy into things, you know, you might completely miss it, and it's such an important thing for kids to experience.
Yeah.
And have
I want
prioritized
that
for
on
them.
a billboard, like,
Yeah.
because people, we have to prioritize joy for
Correct.
kids because like that is the most important time in their life for them to experience that true joy, and then hopefully carry that into adulthood before you know they have to get a 9 to 5 and they get jaded by everything else. And so like
Right. Yeah.
let's pour joy into
Yeah.
them.
And then the adults get to get that secondhand joy when you see the kids having fun.
Correct.
Yeah.
That
And it,
nostalgic.
it carries through. It's like, you know, domino effect.
Yeah. Especially in the world of running, because it's like that world is so, I feel like, competitive when you think about it. You're always like, who's first? You know, it's like in a
Right.
world where there's only one first place, it's like, you know, it's so cool to see some place that's like, hey, let's make that feel less about the first place and more about every
Correct.
place.
Exactly. That is exactly how we think of it and talk about Youth Run. We always say, you know, Youth Run NOLA, it is non-competitive. It's all about, you know, again, prioritizing joy and whatnot and just having fun, celebrating all movements and abilities. And so you nailed it. That's
Man.
perfect.
There's
Right.
one thing I know, it's running and having fun, you know?
There we go.
Yeah, and when you make something so fun and then you can sneak in
Yeah.
a little 5K, it's like, oh, all of a sudden you get all these kids here. They're having a great time. They run a 5K, but they kind of forget about it because, you know, they get snacks and they get to dance after. And
Yeah.
it's just a really good way, a good thing to like gather people around because we're all doing something healthy together. We're all moving together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off that too, I think kind of like now more than ever is just really cool for youth, families, just all community members just to have that like that space that brings everyone together and whatnot, like that supportive community, and that is that feel you get at the 504K. It's again, everyone cheering each other on, and like you said earlier, it doesn't matter if you come in first place or last place. Everyone is going to cheer you on the exact same way
That's
and
awesome.
whatnot, which is really
That's
cool.
awesome. Do you? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, I think that non-competitive aspect of bringing community together is so important because we can get hype, we can cheer each other on, but, you know, it's not about a competitive who won, but also we're still doing it as a community because we've definitely lost that,
Yeah.
I think, across the nation, you know?
Agreed.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people don't think of running as a team sport, but we like to always,
Let 'em
you know, argue
It-
the other way, because if you go to the 504K especially, it feels like a group effort, like getting everyone, you know, we get like adult volunteers to run with the kids. Kids have their own running buddies on their team. So it's like before the race when we're getting all the kids ready, it's like, all right, find your running buddy, tell them your goals, like let's do this all together. Let's get everyone across the finish line.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big misconceptions about running is like, I remember I was shocked when I found out that like running like in the Olympic level, they have like teams of runners and one person is running ahead of them to like prevent drag on the other one and they're like running like shake and bake style where that person is like literally like, all right, time to slingshot you around me.
It's kind of like how birds fly in formation.
You just make a Talladega Nights reference, just slip that in there.
That went over my head.
That's how we do, you know?
But when your teammates in running do better, you do better.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case with other sports.
Yeah.
But people really feed off each other, and the more like you see someone else trying real hard, it inspires you, and you'll go harder too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, and you know, in that same vein, you guys are going to, you know, especially because you've been doing this for a while, and you know, it like we just established, it's not about being competitive, but it's, you know, for you in doing this, you know, what would you say, you know, obviously you don't want to be like the premier running thing or whatever, but it's more so like, what is your goal for especially this year? What do you hope to see out of it, and where do you hope, you know, it goes, you know, beyond that?
Yeah, I would say I feel like one of our goals is just to ensure that we create a space that just feels fun, inclusive, and again, where everyone can come together and just have, we always say, the most joy, most fun ever and whatnot, which, you know, it's not just a statement. Like when folks are out there, you can truly see it on kids and adult faces and whatnot. Also, this initiative, the 504K, it does play a very important part in Youth Run NOLA as well, as this is a race that ensures that our program remain of no cost to our participants and whatnot. And that's something that we really take pride in, ensuring that we provide young people and families with all the tools that they need to be set up for success and whatnot, just because we know the population that we work with, there were so many health disparities and just lack of resources to no fault of their own. And so we try to ensure that we can provide everything we can to set them up for success. And this race acts as one of the fundraisers to ensure that that happens. And last but not least, the 504K, we look at it as something that kind of like strengthen that community tie and whatnot. And so we participate in races throughout the city. And so this is always like our homecoming race where folks from alumni from the beginning of Youth Run NOLA, volunteers all come together, and we just bring different communities there. And, you know, it's a day of celebration and whatnot.
Awesome.
Yeah. Just adding on to that, for me, a big goal of this 504K is making sure that there's a lot of belongingness for kids in running spaces, to see people that look like them, to have their families there, to just be there and know that they belong at races and they belong in these running and fitness spaces. You know, you go to a lot of 5Ks, you see a lot of the same type of people. A lot of times it's really expensive, which is a huge barrier. Correct. So making this affordable, accessible, free for our kids, it's like, no, like this is something that you can do and you should be able to do and have fun doing it. I'm also especially thinking about like the belongingness that is created with the community really makes people who might not be into sports or not think that sports are for them feel comfortable there. We have a lot of girls, and I know that like girls have a huge drop off of sports, like when they get you know to high school. We have a lot of queer kids. Right now, there's a lot of anti-trans in sports and just anti-trans and queer things in general going on in the country. But like that does not matter at Youth Run NOLA. Like you belong here. You belong at these races, and you know we make sure that like kids have name tags every time they go to a race. So we're learning each other's names. We're like giving them buddies. It's like, no, this is for you and your family. Get your family here too, because they belong here too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So 504K is like so many kids, so many families, a lot of people who are doing a 5K for the first time. they might be like too nervous or scared to do something like this. But when they're like doing it with their kids and everyone, it's just easier.
I love what you just said because it goes back to what you talk about community of like, you know, you're going to know each other's names. You're going to have a group. So even if maybe your family can't come the next race, you guys can go, you know, as a group. And as you grow up, like maybe you guys continue this even beyond Youth Run NOLA of like, we're going to races together. Like I now have your phone number. We can go to races together.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I mean, and the thing that resonates to me that you said is I think that in all my life, you know, I've always been a runner, and like I always talk to people how much I love running, and everybody's always like, "Oh, I'm not a runner."
I get so much hate.
You know, but
and
all the time, I feel like people had a bad experience with it, and it's like that first experience everyone has, and it sets the tone for the rest of their running, and it's like because they're thinking it's something that they have to like do for some goal, like they got to be fit, they got to lose weight, or whatever. It's never just something that's just like for fun and for you know, and I think being a place that pulls away a lot of that and builds community around it, like that's really awesome.
No, and I agree with that 1,000%. I feel like in sports, when you think of running, at least for me, many times when you're in trouble or you do something wrong, a coach would say, "All right,
go give me laps."
It's traumatizing.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're traumatized.
And it's like, no, that is not what it's about.
Right.
And that is what we try to incorporate here and whatnot. It's like, okay, you know, running can actually be fun. And that's why, again, we celebrate all movement types. And we say, okay, if you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, jog, dance. You know, the whole goal, we always say, again, you can run, walk, jog, dance, just move and whatnot. And normally when folks start off like kids, some races are early on, they started skipping and whatnot, and eventually the skipping comes into fast walking to run or whatever the case may be. It's just have fun. And as you have fun, you'll enjoy the sport as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this conversation is like, now I'm thinking about like my relationship with running as a child. My
We're
mom.
calling you out.
I feel like I'm on the therapist chair, like, oh, this is where this comes from.
Yes.
My mom's employer, they hosted a 5K. And so but that was a fun memory of every year I looked forward to. My mom would register the whole family. We'd go, like some of us would walk, some of us would run. At the end, there was jambalaya. I loved it.
Especially that jambalaya.
The jambalaya. Like, right, like it felt like such an accomplishment. And, you know, people were cheering you on, and it create a community. And there were people at my mom's job that like I'd see them all, like each time this year we'd see each other at this event, and like I'd play with the same kids, and again the jambalaya at the end, like I'm just eating 6 bowls and my mom's letting me run around, and like
No, and that's a good point, because at the end of the day, again, the whole point is like you just crush a race, whether you ran, walked, whatever the case may be, you just crushed that. And now this is our way, of celebrating you. So post race, it's like you have all the food, the activities that, is for you. So many of our kids share that memory of races too. Like their favorite thing is the jambalaya or the cake or whatever
like
the case.
snacks after.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's awesome.
What do you think sets the 504K apart from other races?
For me, I think I would say what sets the 504K apart is that we prioritize youth and accessibility and whatnot. And so whenever we're thinking about the 504K, we just think about like, okay, from beginning to end, how can we ensure that there's an experience that, one, all people can enjoy, but then, again, this race is truly a race that is designed from youth and whatnot. And when I say that, it's like many of our youth tell us what they want. Exactly. And so it's our job and priority to ensure that we create that experience for them. Like, for example, last year when we did this initiative, I think it was like superheroes. And it's like, okay.
Superhero themed.
Yes, a superhero themed race. And it's like, okay, we will bring that vision, into reality. And so this year we're doing the same thing. It's like the 504K Fest. And so again, I think the thing that sets this race apart is, again, we prioritize youth. And again, along with that, it comes the accessibility and just those different things and conversations we have as a staff and a committee and whatnot. Another thing is just ensuring that we remove the barriers and whatnot. Again, staff, the committee we have, we always talk about what are potential barriers that people may face signing up for this race. And we think about either signing up or doing the race. Like, how can we ensure all people are incorporated or thought about when planning out this race? And last but not least is just ensuring that more than the race, that is more centered around, again, celebration and movement. We continue to go back and ensure that the fun, the celebration aspect is in every component of this event and whatnot. So
Yeah, because
that's
it's
some
a
of the
big
things.
accomplishment. I mean, a lot of our kids have done 5Ks throughout the fall. But, you know, they work up to get their times better. And this is just, it's like all of their people are there at that race to watch them. It's like when you're a little kid and you have a game and then you're like, you know, when your mom and dad or cousins or whoever comes to watch you, it like gives you that
Auntie,
extra,
everyone's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they're performing and they're celebrating a whole
Yeah.
season also of like improvements. And that's a big confidence booster.
Correct. Yeah.
Were you done with your?
No, yeah, go,
okay.
yeah, go,
I was
yeah.
gonna say what sets this race apart from other races. I was gonna tell a little anecdote
Ooh, okay, we love
because
that.
I think
Yeah.
that
Alright.
it really just covers like the whole
Cozied
vibe
up.
of the 504K and like what we're about. But last year, we had this little incident where this 5-year-old kid got lost for a little bit, and it was a little scary. We were in Crescent Park, but his mom had him. She was just there, like as a partner, like tabling for dancing grounds. And she was like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know where my son is. The race had just started. We were like, ooh, all right. So, you know, the texts are going out. We're calling everyone. All the cheer groups are on the route. And then like 10 minutes later, I get a picture from one of our coaches, like holding his hand, walking on the course. And he was so like happy in that picture. It was so funny. So we were like, woo, like celebrate. You know, we had the announcement at the stage that Mitchell has been found. And I think all like 600 people were like, oh, thank goodness. Yay. And, like this big celebration.
funny.
It was funny because the cheer group Women of Wakanda were actually the ones that first told
Oh,
me that
really?
they spotted him. So I was like, okay, I have Women of Wakanda on the phone right now. They said they've got Mitchell.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
I hope he knows that story.
Yeah.
For,
I think
like the women of Wakanda spotting you when you were missing.
But he came back. He was just like over the moon. He was so excited that he had done this 5K, and that's huge for a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
First of all, and someone who hasn't trained for a 5K.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. And he just like kept telling his mom like, when are we gonna do that again? Like, when's the next 5K? So it's just like it felt really. I was like, yes, you get it. I wish that we weren't so scared for a minute.
Exactly.
That is the whole point, because it was like this kid just got like swept up in the joy of the start of the race. And he was just like, whoa, it is so fun, so cool. Like he wanted to do it. And I think the funniest part was getting the pictures back from the 504K. And then like I was like going through them. I was like tracking Mitchell the whole time. I was like, oh my God, there he is starting. He was like running away like with this like.
Oh, so he lined up. He was like, I'm in this. Can I register or not?
He had like this look
Yeah.
of like joy and determination on his face as he was sprinting. And then I saw him like through the pictures through the course, and I was like, that is too funny.
That's wild.
Right before you said it,
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say this goes back to the joy, right? Like you couldn't even be mad at him. I'm sure when he got to the end and he was like so excited because it's like all of that anxiety and frustration is gone because it's like his joy and his excitement and him being so proud of himself, like stumps out everything else.
Like so glad that you did this, and you're going to tell your mom.
But please, before starting a 5K, let your mom know.
Yeah, I was gonna say so he just jumped in the fun because he saw it. He wasn't originally supposed to race or anything.
He was not supposed to race. He was just there with his mom.
That's wild.
Like
That's extra
at
wild.
a booth, you know. You're not supposed to do the race.
He's like, what is that? Come on, I'm drawn.
Yeah, and he was just like,
That's so wild. That's a great story.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, that's perfect. And something else too that I was thinking as Brenna was speaking that's so cool about this 504K is the fact that again, outside of me sharing how is you know, speaking from youth's point of view and us executing the vision, on race day, one of our biggest priorities is ensuring that you mainly hear from youth voices. So MCs are normally alumni or our captain's council, which are high schoolers that MC the event too. So yeah, it's really cool that they, again, they're the voices you hear from the
Yeah.
first time you get there to the end of the race
That's
as well.
awesome.
So it's really cool.
Yeah.
They, I'm sure, get to feel like, integral to that and, that responsibility. And I mean, because a lot of kids, I think, are dismissed by other organizations. And so to get them to be able to speak up and have a voice
Yeah.
is crucial, because that's long term of like them feeling comfortable speaking
Correct,
in
yeah.
front
Right.
of public and
Yeah.
like knowing that they have a voice that they can use and that it has power behind it.
Yeah. And then they,
go
oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
No, I was just going to say, it's just speaking. Like they also, this is the race that they recruit their friends and family. Like they go on, what is it, like a recruitment challenge. And so many, this is like, they get really hype about just inviting friends, families, etc., to be a part of it. And, it's really cool that they can show their family and their network, like, hey, this is our program. Come check it out.
Yeah.
And like, that's always
Yeah, they
really
have
cool to see.
ownership over it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's a perfect segue into talking about, people that do hear about this, opportunity and want to get involved, what especially this is going to come out a little before the race, with time ticking down towards the race, like how do people get involved with the race, not just from like participating, but any other opportunities that you want to let people know about.
Yeah, I can quickly share a high level and let Brenna take over. But for me, I feel like folks, again, we always tell folks, just come out and experience the vibe. And you can come volunteer, you can cheer, you can, that kind of rhyme, but volunteer, cheer.
Drink a beer.
Yeah, exactly. We have food, beer, everything out there.
Shed a
But,
tear,
exactly, sometimes them runs are pretty hard. But yeah, no, you can definitely. That was good. But
you gotta keep them in the back pocket. You know what I'm saying? Don't. But if I keep going, we'll be.
Don't
we'll
let
never
stop
leave.
you.
No, this is about you. All right.
No, that was good.
Right.
Though. You deserve that one. But no, yeah, you can. There's many ways to engage with the program. Like I said, you can volunteer, you can cheer, you can event team set up. And Brenna can talk more. Like Brenna focuses on like what volunteers can do for the race. So yeah, feel free to share.
Yeah, other than, registering, number one. You can also register as a group and get a discount.
All right.
But if that's
Group
not your
discount
thing,
rate.
we
Yes.
always are looking for volunteers. Even if it's a last minute thing, it's real easy to be on the cheer team. I just give you a map of the route, say go here, bring some pom-poms or signs or whatever, little speaker, and get out there and cheer on the runners, because it's really nice for them, and it's important for them to be recognized and feel important when they're running. And they think they're superstars when they have people who came out just to watch them run, just to cheer for them. It's a big deal. So definitely, contact us, ask to volunteer.
I'll tell you one thing. I mean, I'm on the route or near. I moved in that area, so I'm I'm gonna be in cheering. That's for sure.
Looking for you.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Something happened to me. I mean,
I've got some pom poms you can borrow, so I got you.
Hey.
Nice.
Well, yeah. I'll make. I'll
Come in
got,
costumes.
I was gonna say I got
anything is fun.
Mardi Gras costume.
We
Yeah,
get
that's perfect.
any like Mardi Gras cruise. That's super fun. Also,
Yeah,
we have a couple
Mardi
different
Gras
Like I
cruise.
said, Woman of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Was at the last one. The Jamettes. They come. They do the dances, and
Wow,
it's cute.
That's
Fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
After running this event for so many years, can you guys share with us what you've learned or any insights, anything you've changed?
Yeah, I would say one of the things that we did do was, as it relates to just ensuring that we cater to all languages and whatnot. So again, flyers, we based on like the populations that we serve, we ensure that we change the flyer to if it's Spanish, Vietnamese, etc. And so we ensure that we're inclusive to all folks that language barriers and whatnot, and more cheer groups. Every year, again, I think Brenna may have touched on it a little bit too. The kids are so motivated and energized when they just see and hear cheer groups along the route. So that is another component that we put in there. And last but not least is just like the post-race community fest area. Each year we strategize as a team. We listen to folks' feedback, and we, try to ensure that we capture what folks are hoping for. So in the sense that, like today, we were just talking about how, it's going to be so many little ones as well, and like how can we ensure the activity is there from the time they get there to after the race. Like be real strategic about just all the community partners, ensure it's something for everyone and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've learned so much. I've been with Youth Run NOLA for 7 years, and been like planning and organizing the volunteers and like different aspects of this race every year. I learned like you just got to be ready to swivel. I mean, just in nonprofits, small nonprofits in general, but youth development nonprofits, like John was saying earlier, how we have youth on the mic, like emceeing. You just have to be okay with it not being perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're like,
Live for the
everyone just like be patient with us because it's a youth development program, and
it's a wabi sabi.
The timing is going to be off probably. No matter, you think you got it down, and then the next year something happens. Like this year, we couldn't have it at Crescent Park again, and we were like, no, we just
Wait, it's not at Crescent Park?
It's down the street from Crescent Park.
Okay.
It's on
still in your head.
Right across
still
from
nearby.
Dr.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I could.
You're still locked in the cheering. You're still there.
No, that's good. I was like, I didn't want to like throw myself under the bus.
No, it's right there. Like Brenna said, it's literally down the street from, is across from Dr. Bob's Folk Art.
Yeah.
And this is actually where
in
the
the
race
field with
first
the
occurred.
mule. Everyone is like, that field with the mule? And I'm like, yes, that field with the mule.
I love that.
So it's like a homecoming too, really quick with that race. That's where we had the 504K the first 3 years of that race. And so, we
bringing it back.
And again, that's the adjustments, kind of like to the question, like, okay, we couldn't have it in Crescent Park this year just because of things and whatnot. And so it's like, okay, great. Now we're going to have a homecoming back at the location that we first started. And, folks are excited about it.
They are excited. I'm excited about it.
Awesome.
But yeah, just no matter what, like 1 year we're like, okay, we did it at Crescent Park a few years. We really got the logistics down. And then they're like, oh, there's no power there, by the way. And we're like, no. Okay, let's figure it out. We had to get petty cappers to bring people in that couldn't do the stairs.
Yeah.
Wow.
1 year we had a race start and then the train blocked off the race route. And so we were like, quick, think of a game to do.
Yeah.
For the kids.
Just
play jumping
kids.
jack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny because it's really just, there's 4 staff at Youth Run NOLA, and then we get a committee of volunteers, and then we recruit other volunteers. So everything that we do is like, we're all figuring it out too. And there's always just like these running jokes with the committee about past like times that went really bad, things that happened that we'll never do again. Like a few years ago, we got this like fancy beer tap, and none of us actually could figure out how to do it. And then at one point, the beer was like spraying up in the sky, and we're like, oh no! Cans.
It was beer faithful,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think just like overall, the main learning for me is like, if you stay positive no matter what is going on, it's going to be fun for the kids.
Yeah.
And there have been some years, a few years ago when I was newer at this, where I would get all stressed out about something, the logistics didn't go right, I was upset. But some of our like veteran volunteers would be like, was it, did you get kids to run? Yeah. Did they have fun? Yeah. And I'm like, all right, it was a success. So
exactly.
you really can't be mad, and like, kids will mirror what emotions you're putting out, and the positivity that you're putting out. They'll also be like, woohoo, best day ever. So it's like, you don't need the fancy stuff to work out, although that's nice. Money is nice to have.
I don't know. The fancier I get, the worse I feel. It's all about that.
If only we could just,
Simple life.
pay our bills with kids' joy and give all of that. If that was the main,
I don't know. That'd be terrible for the kids. Be like, quick, laugh. I need this.
The light bills due. I need you to laugh, Junior.
I need joy. More joy. That's great, man. I love it. You guys are great.
I thought it was a good idea. Now I feel terrible. Some kids are
just created child labor. Hey, but listen, it's not me. I'm past kidhood, so most people still think I am a kid. But
someone in a child in Youth Run NOLA asked me if I was in 7th or 8th grade the other day.
I know.
Hey,
I said,
I mean,
thank
I'm
you.
right there
I'm
with
29.
You. I'm right there with you. I got asked at the airport if I was a minor, so you know.
Oh man. Yeah.
So, you know, Asian baby face. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you guys. And the only last thing I really want to make sure people know is the best place for people to get all this information and get going is the website.
Yes, they can go to youthrunnola.org or they can follow us on Instagram.
At Youth Run NOLA.
Yes.
At Youth Run NOLA.
Yes.
All right.
No, I appreciate
Oh,
it.
no, we appreciate you guys.
Of course.
All right.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for having us on.
Yeah,
This was
no
fun.
worries.
Yeah.
Well, now we have to have our final segment.
Yeah, we do a secret final segment.
Should we be whispering too?
Whisper into the mic to be part of this.
When you lean in, you gotta whisper.
No, what is on your running playlist?
Top song.
That is
Top
a good
song or
question.
genre or
Okay, I can go
artist?
first.
Okay.
Most people probably be like, "What?" But for my running playlist, I actually prefer R&B music. And for a lot of folks, it's not necessarily like, "Oh, it's hype music, let's go." But I don't know, like, yeah, I just love singing in my head when I'm running as well. And yeah, so I would say hip hop R&B, but my favorite artist is Usher. So
Oh.
in the style knows so,
I guess you've listened to Usher a time or two with him. Yeah.
yeah.
He
loves
So
Usher.
yeah, that is my goat. So I would say anything by Usher
Nice.
is what I would
Amazing.
my
That's a
go
great
to.
answer. That's a
Yeah,
great answer.
or anything '90s, R&B, hip hop, rock, anything '90s. Yeah,
Okay.
but
I
Usher.
respect it.
Okay, what's on your playlist?
For me, okay, I got a lot of city girls on my running playlist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Missy Elliott,
Oh,
Lizzo. But then
okay.
also, I can switch it up. I got the Cranberries on my running playlist.
Okay.
A lot of the kids know the Cranberries linger at least. People like to sing that song when they're running.
Really?
You know,
Yeah,
You gotta
Can
let
get
it
the crowd
linger.
going.
yeah.
yeah. I like listening to hip hop. I like something with a beat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and I would say so. A lot of times when I do the races with the kids, I wear what we call a jammy pack. So it's a fanny pack with the speakers on it,
Oh.
and so I wear it across my chest and whatnot.
You're bringing Usher to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is the catch. So when I create a playlist, I ensure that the playlists are like top karaoke songs. So
Oh,
when
okay.
I'm playing the music,
Gotcha.
Smart.
people along the course are singing the songs as
Yeah.
well. So that's always
Yeah, because if
fun.
it was
Yeah.
all Usher, you would be a pusher.
Oh.
that's just like, we can't have that, you know? Can't have that.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
What
What
about
about you? Yeah, I was gonna
Well,
ask
you
you.
know,
Depends on my mood. If I'm running, it's gonna be trap music or like gorilla, a lot of like
Turn up.
rap city,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I've also recently gotten into audiobook. So if I'm like walking or
yeah.
jogging and I don't need like the I can just put on an audiobook, and I think that helps me go longer distance
Yeah.
because then I'm in the
Makes your mind
book.
off.
Yeah.
Get your mind. Yep.
Nice. Nice.
How about you?
Boy,
Track star.
let me tell you, I'm not a track star, but I tell you, I love music and vibes. And I will say I go through a lot of different things. Right now, the number one thing, well, there's a longer story, but I'll keep the shorter story. So one of my all-time favorite bands from from my childhood recently resurfaced with a new singer, Linkin Park. And
Oh my God, really?
Then they came, and they replaced Chester with this woman named Armstrong. What's her first name?
I just know I just heard that she was a woman. So I don't know her name.
She is incredible. They wrote this song called "Emptiness Machine," and I swear, if there is any song that's going to get you hyped, it is that song.
Oh, yeah.
It is so. It's just like it just has like that oomph to it, and that just. And I've always loved like them and the Gorillaz, like any genre blending, band of any kind is always like my top, and so. Just like hearing this song come out, and I'm just like, oh yeah, like it's just like it
I have to
just
put this
gets
on
me
the
going.
playlist
You
for
know,
you.
oh my God.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best. Like, oh my God, I love that song. I can recommend that song to the moon. That is like the ultimate hype song for me right now.
Amazing.
Emptiness
Will be on the
Machine
playlist.
by Linkin Park.
Wow.
Check it out.
Okay, good
Well,
to know.
Yeah.
speaking of good music, we will have DJ Jubilee at
Oh,
504K and
yeah.
DJ
she's
Rockaway.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we
So
do.
I need to
after
bring my
we-
running shoes and my
party.
dancing shoes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
yeah,
Good thing
definitely.
good thing you mentioned that. I mean,
Don't
that's
leave
a
it all
selling
out on
point.
the course
Yeah.
because you got to dance after.
Yeah, we will have a dance party. Yeah, so
Yeah, practice your line dances too.
that's what I was just about to say.
Man, I don't. Where do you learn line dancing?
At the 504K.
Okay, well, hey, I'll be there. Hey. Oh,
You just gotta find someone who looks like they know what they're doing and get
give
behind
it
them.
a
All right, I like it. All right, one foot, left foot, right foot.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
spin around. All right.
Our board member Jarrett was teaching a lot of people. Actually.
Nice.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, no, so it's gonna be.
Is it one dance or is it like
No, there's a lot.
There's a
a
lot.
lot? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I best get to stepping.
Yeah. Look up
Alright.
some tutorials on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Yeah. Cool.
That's what I do.
Well, thank you guys. This is amazing.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
this
great.
was fun.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for listening to Missions Bayou, powered by Comfy Stone. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast wherever you listen. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and drop a comment, letting us know your thoughts and who you'd like to hear from next. We'll see y'all next time.